Lovely to meet you. The film is incredible, and that comes from somebody who's only been watching Downton for the last, handful of years. But the thing that struck me the most about the film is that it's got a very sort of Singin' in the Rain vibe. Obviously, all of the old Hollywood and bringing Hollywood into Downton, but particularly with the sort of subplot with Mary and Myrna Dalglish. Was that film an influence sort of on this one at all, or were there any other early talkie or silent films that you had an influence?
There's a definite answer to that, which is that our producer, Gareth Neam's grandfather, Ronald Neam, who is a very famous director in his own right, bear with me on this, when he was a young man, was Alfred Hitchcock's assistant on Blackmail, which was the film shot in London in the late 20s that actually went from silent to a talkie. And so that was the influence on Julian rather than Singing in the Rain. So it was Blackmail by Hitchcock.
Obviously, you've worked with Julian Fellowes before. You worked with him and Elizabeth McGovern on the Chaperone, but you've also worked with a number of other cast members from this film. What was it like sort of you've worked with them before, but what was it like sort of coming in as a new director to a project that they've essentially been on for years?
Yeah, I can imagine that might be intimidating, but for me it was just a joy, because to work with a group of actors who'd been cast as a family, who now really were a family, who owned their characters so deeply because they've been playing them for over a decade, just made it a real pleasure, actually.
And obviously you were filming in these completely beautiful spaces, like this. Is it sort of intimidating to take those characters out of Downton at all, because they've, for most of the series they've been contained to the one place? Was it sort of?
Yeah, I think it was a relief for everybody to get out of Highclere. Yeah. It's a very particular house. I mean, very beautiful in some ways, but not easy to film in. And so when we got to France or here, Rest Park, it was very liberating.
And this film, even more so than the first one or the series, has such a massive ensemble cast because you're bringing in the family at the villa and then the Hollywood stars. How do you sort of balance making sure, especially all of the quote unquote legacy characters, get sort of their due on camera?
Well, again, the script is a brilliant map for that, because Julian is really skillful at giving all his characters satisfying journeys. But my attitude was to treat them all like film stars and met them all beforehand. And, the legacy characters, as you call them, or actors, were thrilled by the new arrivals. And, Hugh Dancy and Dominic West and Laura were, a joy to add to the ensemble.
Well, that was all my questions, so
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.